The Royal Society in London has got a motto, and their motto is Nullius in Verba. Very important motto, and it's very suitable for the oldest scientific society in the world. It means, take nobody's word for it. And really that was the watchword of not only the Royal Society in London, but ought to be the watchword of everybody. I think the thing which I find most difficult when I look around at society is that many people do not do that. And they're not that interested in thinking for themselves, particularly in an age where many people will tell you what to think. A lot of people seem to have farmed out the idea of thinking for themselves and invested that task and that responsibility with people like the government, or maybe even companies and businesses, who they farm out the ability to think for themselves to others. That, I think, to me at least, denies the fundamental nature of being a human being. If there's anything which distinguishes us from the animals, it's our ability to think. It's our ability to weigh up things for ourselves, to reason through things, to sift the evidence, to come to our own conclusion, to work things out. I think it's part of what it means to be a human being, to be able to do that, and to do that in such a way that you can make your decisions based upon your own understanding, and your own responsibility then follows from that. That's what it means to be fully human, it seems to me, and to exercise human rights and human dignity at the same time. What I find difficult is that many people don't. Many people are just happy to allow other people to make their decisions for them, to decide on their behalf how they should act, how they should live, what they should value, what they should buy, how they should conduct themselves in life. Very often you'll find even government adverts telling us nowadays what we should do with our lives and how we should live and behave. It's a thing which I think makes us human, is the ability to make our own decisions and not allow governments to make decisions on our behalf, or even to give us our values or tell us what to do and what to think. Thinking for yourself is probably the quintessential element of what it means to be human. And whatever you do, you shouldn't farm that out for someone else to do your thinking for you. But it saddens me that very few people do that. Very few people are prepared to work things out for themselves, or test things, or think critically about the things that come their way. We're bombarded with so much material from media, governments, companies, all people wishing us to think in a certain way and act in a certain position. But it seems to me that if we farm out our own responsibility for thinking for ourselves and pass that on to governments to do the thinking for us, or companies to motivate us or nudge us into acting in certain ways, and not thinking for ourselves and not weighing it up for ourselves, then we've abrogated that part of human nature which is probably the most central part that makes us proper human beings with the dignity of humanity. It's that important role of learning to think for yourself, weighing things up for yourself, not being persuaded by simple and superficial arguments, but looking at the world critically, objectively, fairly, honestly, and not being bamboozled or taken in by those people who want you to just take their point of view on things. That's the best approach that you can take in life, it seems to me. It's the one which fully realizes you as a human being, and one which makes you really the kind of person that other people will come to and ask advice from. Weigh up things for yourself. Don't take other people's word for it. Check things out. Test things. Hold to that which is good, and do that which and push to one side those things which are not so good. Think for yourself. Don't allow other people to do your thinking for you. Come up to your own conclusions and work out your own values. So, think for yourself. Nullius in Verba. take no one's word for it. And don't farm out your thinking to anybody else to do on your behalf. It's what makes you a human being.